Hello boys and girls, this is Miss Anna, and today I would like to talk about how we are all unique. Being unique means to be special, different in some ways. We are not the same. We don't look the same, don't talk the same, don't dress the same. We like different things, like different food or different toys. Have you ever felt sad that you were not included because you were different than others? Maybe it didn't happen to you, but perhaps you have seen it happen to someone else. What if another child was not invited to play at the playground because they had a leg brace? Maybe it is someone you know who looks or acts differently, and the child is left out. How does it make them feel? Sad, lonely, maybe angry, not accepted, left out. I brought something for you to see. These are my eggs from my refrigerator. Let's look inside. Do you see one egg is different? He has a little red hat. I would like you to meet Eggbert. Eggbert is the main character from a book I'm going to read you. And he is an artist. He likes to paint. That's why he's wearing this red hat. Eggbert is different than other eggs in the refrigerator. And sometimes he doesn't feel accepted either. Let's read the story and find out what happens to Eggbert. Eggbert, the Slightly Cracked Egg, by Tom Ross and Rex Barron. There once was an egg named Eggbert. He loved to paint beautiful pictures. Eggbert's paintings always cheered up the other eggs in the refrigerator. But one day, it was discovered that Eggbert was slightly cracked. Eggs with cracked shells were not allowed to stay. Sadly, the other eggs told Eggbert he would have to leave. I wonder why he couldn't stay. He wasn't hurting anyone or anything, right? Eggbert waved goodbye to his old friends. He hunched his shoulders, what little shoulders he had, pressed his shell together so the crack almost disappeared. Almost. Then he set out to look for a new place to live. All the drawers had labels, but none of them was right for Eggbert. He knew he would have to look harder. There had to be some place where he would fit in. Look at the vegetables telling Eggbert to get out. They look angry. Carrot is giving him a thumb down. Celery and pepper are saying stop with their hands. I'm not sure it was a good decision to kick Eggbert out just because he was a little different and had a crack. I wonder, boys and girls, what do you think? Do you think it was nice? I wonder how Eggbert feels about the whole thing. Sad? Frustrated? Before long, Eggbert came to a spot with a beautiful view. If only I could stay here, he thought. Then he had a great idea. What do you think Eggbert's great idea might be? No one had to know that he was an egg with a cracked shell. He would paint himself to look like the other things around him. He'd blend right in. Boys and girls, can you think of a big word that means the same thing as blending in? If you guessed camouflage, good job! But just as Eggbert was thinking he'd found the perfect place, a potato plant happened to notice his crack. Split, the plant ordered. Eggbert tried not to be discouraged. Maybe I'll have better luck outdoors, he said to himself. The only way down was to jump. Ouch, it's not safe for eggs to jump. I hope our Eggbert will be okay. Luckily, Eggbert landed in a soft bed of flowers. He had never seen flowers before, but they smelled even better than butter and lettuce. Perhaps this is the perfect place for me, he thought. A dab here, a splotch there, voila! Eggbert was covered with flowers. Can you find Eggbert? But late that afternoon, an angry bee discovered that he cannot get nectar from an egg. Again, Eggbert was told to leave. It was getting dark, and he still had not found a place to live. Just when he was about to give up all hope, a glimmer of something caught his eye. I wonder what it is. What beautiful little lights, Eggbert whispered. With all his might and twice his usual care, he climbed up the fence. Perfect, Eggbert said when he was covered with stars. But the next morning, when the night stars were gone, a cat discovered that Eggbert was just an egg with a cracked shell. "Scramble," said the cat. Boys and girls, would that be kind of mean to say scramble to an egg? Eggbert took a hard fall on the sidewalk. Now he was more cracked than ever. It started to rain. He began to sob. He realized that no matter how he painted himself, he could not hide who he was. Poor Eggbert. Here he is, without a home, all cracked, crying in the rain. Finally, the rain stopped, and the sun broke through a crack in the clouds. Eggbert began to notice something he had never noticed in his whole life. The world was full of cracks, all sorts of wonderful cracks. Maybe it's not such a bad thing to be slightly cracked, he thought. Do you see, children, all the cracks around Eggbert? There are many cracks in the ground and a large crack in the clouds and the sky. From then on, Eggbert traveled around the world, making new friends and seeing famous cracked sights. Look at all the places Eggbert visited. I see the Grand Canyon, an active volcano. All these places have cracks. And here we see Eggbert making new friends. But he never forgot his friends back home in the fridge, and he painted them beautiful postcards of his travels. They were well and truly amazed, and they missed him, if the truth be told. The eggs and vegetables feel proud of Eggbert. They display his beautiful art with cracks that Eggbert saw around the world in their refrigerator. Do you see the eggs admiring his painting of the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia? The other eggs don't get to travel, and they only see the inside of the fridge, and it is often dark there. Do you see an egg on the right feeling sad? He must regret that Eggbert had to leave. He misses him. To this day, Eggbert does not regret being cracked. In fact, he is even a little proud of it. Look how proud he looks. The end. So boys and girls, did you like Egbert's story? What does it tell us? Eggbert wasn't accepted because he was different, because he had a crack. But in the end, it made him quite famous and popular. The very part of him he tried to hide led him to his greatest adventures. We are all the same and different in many ways. And despite of our differences in how we look or dress or the things we like and celebrate, we are all humans. We should accept each other's uniqueness, and we should be proud of the things that make us special too. And today I would like to do a little craft project with you. Let's make Eggbert. And he would look like this. To make Eggbert, we would need the following materials: 4 sheets of colored paper, white, orange, red, and brown, a pencil, a pair of scissors, crayons or markers, and the glue stick. The very first thing we are going to do, we are going to draw a large oval on a white sheet of paper. It doesn't have to be perfect, just like this. Next, we need to draw his eyes. For his eyes, I would like to draw a couple of ovals. And then make a couple of circles inside for his pupils. A circle for his nose, and give him a smile. Now let's color his eyes. For his eyes, I would like to use blue crayon for that, but you can use any color you like. Be creative. And let's use black to color his pupils inside. Now trace his mouth. And for his nose, I would like to use orange or red. Either one will work. I will use red to give him a little bit blush on his cheeks. Now let's not forget to make an important part for Eggbert. Draw his crack. To draw the crack, we will just make a few crooked lines, so they kind of look like lightning maybe, just like this. He's turning out to be beautiful. Let's cut him out. Follow the lines you drew and make a nice oval shaped egg. For our next step, we are going to use orange paper, and we are going to make his arms and legs. Even eggs don't have arms and legs, but Eggbert is a fictional character, and he travels, so he needs legs, and he's also an artist. He needs arms to hold paintbrush. So take your orange paper and outline a few straight lines. We need 4. You can ask a doll to help you with that. But remember, they don't have to be perfect and they don't have to be super straight either. Let's cut them out. I would like to fold my strips of paper a little bit to give arms and legs a little bit of character. But you don't have to do that. You can keep them straight. Just like this. We're going to glue them to our egg, and we might have later to trim his arms so they're not too long. You don't have to use a lot of glue, just a little dab at the end of the piece. Attach his legs and repeat the same for his arms. My Eggbert's arms are too long, so I'm gonna use scissors and cut them shorter. Now, using the red paper, we're going to make Egbert's artist beret. It doesn't have to be certain shape. I'm making it to look like a bean, but it needs to look kind of like a hat. Go ahead and cut it out. I'd like to position his beret a little bit on the side of his head, like in the pictures, so we could still see his crack. A little bit of glue, that's all you need, and position it just like that. For Egbert's artist palette, we're going to use brown paper. Go ahead and make an oval. It doesn't have to be a large oval. Now, if you have some bright markers, that would be good to make paint. If you don't have bright markers like I do, you can use crayons. Crayons will work as well. And try to put many different colors. They don't have to be circles, they could be any shapes or smears or scribbles, as you see I'm doing. How about some purple? Next. You also can mix colors together. I'm going to mix some red and yellow. What color is it going to make? Orange, right? After you're done with your palette, go ahead and cut it out. We also need to make his paintbrush. For that, we just need a thin strip of brown paper, and then we need to color the tip of it with any color you like. I'm going to use orange. Let's cut it out, and our paintbrush and artist palette is ready to be glued. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is to glue his artist palette in his one arm and his paintbrush in the other. And now Eggbert is all done. And here's Eggbert. I think he turned out great. I love his crack and his red beret. If you'd like, you might want to attach a piece of paper on the bottom and write what made him special. Or maybe you would like to write what makes you special. I hope you liked our lesson today, and I will see you soon. Goodbye. Hello, boys and girls! Today I'm gonna read you a story about a character who was unique. Have you heard of the word unique? Unique means special, one of a kind, not like everyone else. We are all unique in certain ways. The name of the book is Red, a Crayon story. And Red Crayon wasn't like the other crayons he knew, and sometimes it made him feel like he didn't belong or didn't fit. It's a story about finding who you are and being yourself. Let's read. Red, a Crayon story, written and illustrated by Michael Hall. As told by the pencil. He was red. Do you notice anything unusual about this crayon? He looks blue, but his label is red, and it says red right on it. He was red, but he wasn't very good at it. Look at the picture of the fire truck he drew. What color is it? Blue? What color is a fire truck supposed to be? Red, that's right. His mom, whose name is Olive, Olive is another shade of green, looked at his picture and said, "Oh, dear." His teacher thought he needed more practice. Here is his teacher. Her name is Miss Scarlet. Scarlet is also a shade of red. She's saying, "I'll draw a red strawberry. Then you draw a red strawberry. You can do this. Really." But he couldn't. Really. Look at the red strawberries Miss Scarlet drew, and blue strawberries Red drew. He was trying very hard. "Like this?" he says. "Oh my, let's try again," replies Miss Scarlet. His mother thought he needed to mix with other colors. Olive says, "Why don't you two go out and draw a nice, round orange?" Here's his friend Yellow. He's saying, "A really big one." And Red adds, "A really orange one." What color do you think they will make? But they made a big greenish one. It kind of looks like a moldy orange. "Yuck!" Yellow says. "Oops," replies Red. His grandparents thought he wasn't warm enough. Here are his grandparents, Silver and Gray. Notice how short they are. When people grow older, they get taller. But it is the opposite with crayons. Crayon children are tall, but as they are used more and more and get older, they get smaller. His grandma Silver says, "Your class is making self-portraits for parents' night. Wear this warm red scarf." His grandpa Gray adds, "Nice, it's so you." But it so wasn't. Look at the artwork, self-portraits of other crayon children. Here's Goldie and Teal. Teal is a bluish shade of green. And here's Purple. Purple's parents, Mr. Crimson and Mrs. Violet, are so proud of Purple's work. We see Orange and Green, who is still working on staying within the lines. And here's our Red in his red scarf that Grandma Silver gave him. He stayed in his lines perfectly. Red is a good artist. The only problem, he is blue. We see his mom Olive, Grandma, and Grandpa Gray. Grandma says, "Oh dear me." Everyone seemed to have something to say. Amber Crayon, who is a shade of orange, is saying, "Sometimes I wonder if he is really red at all." "Oh, don't be silly, it says red on his label." "He came that way from the factory." Bright pink fuchsia crayon is saying, "Frankly, I don't think he's very bright." "Well, I think he's lazy," says Grape. "Right, he's got to press harder," says Army Green. "Really apply himself," adds Steel Gray. "Give him some time. He'll catch on," says Miss Sunshine. "Of course he will." But he didn't catch on. Green frog, black sheep, brown cow, Red. Ugh. Red is so discouraged, poor guy. Look at his aunt's face. It's sad. That is how Red is feeling. All the art supplies wanted to help. The masking tape thought he was broken inside. "This will help hold you together." The scissors thought his label was too tight. "One snip should do it." The pencil, who's telling the story, is saying, "I thought he wasn't sharp enough." Pencil sharpener comes to help. It says, "Stay still now." But even with all our help and all his hard work, look at the picture. Red is trying so hard to draw red hearts, red cherries, red fox, red toenails, but no luck. He must be so frustrated. He just couldn't get the hang of it. His friends Black, Yellow, and Green are making a traffic light. Black made the outline, Green and Yellow made the color lights, and poor Red, his red light is blue. See how he scribbled and smeared on this page, then ran away. He's feeling embarrassed. He feels like he let his friends down. It's so sad. One day, he met a new friend. This is Barry. Barry has drawn a big boat. Barry asked, "Will you make a blue ocean for my boat?" "I can't. I'm red." "Will you try?" Children, do you think he will try? So he did. Look at those nice blue waves he made. Barry says, "Thank you, it's perfect." "You're welcome. It was easy." And he didn't stop there. Look at Red's beautiful art. Blue jeans, blue bells, blue bird, blue berries, blue whale. "I'm blue!" Red screams with joy. He was blue, and everyone was talking. "My son is brilliant," says his mom Olive. Who could have known he was blue? "I always said he was blue." "It was obvious." "His blue ocean really lifted me," says his new friend Barry. "All of his work makes me happy," says Sea Green. "His blue strawberries are my favorites. He's so intense." And his friend Yellow, "I'm going to make a green lizard with him, a really big one." I hear he's working on a huge new project, adds his Grandpa Gray. And Miss Scarlet, his teacher. He is really reaching for the sky. And he really was. Look at his beautiful sky. All the crayons are so proud and happy for Red. The end. What did we learn from a story of Red Crayon? That we are the same and different than others. Can you think how you might be different than your friends? Maybe you like different kind of music or different kind of food. What's your favorite ice cream flavor? Is it chocolate, vanilla, or strawberry? Do you write with the right or left hand? All our differences make us unique and special, and sometimes even famous. What's your favorite color? Why don't you pick a box of crayons and draw something that makes you one of a kind, special than others? Remember, be yourself. Until next time, goodbye!